All right, getting one to go. The Barry Beebe and Andy Reeves front row. We'll see how everything shakes out here in this first Legends race here at Southside Speedway this year. Again, Barry and Andy Reeves, that's your front row. Steve Cipher and Chris Lilly in row number 2. Tommy Jackson, Scotty Edwards in row 3. Dylan Saul and David Turner in row 4. Brandon Wigglesworth and Colin Brown in row 5. Looks like Joe Ramos will be there as well as the green flag comes out. Andy Reeves on the high side trying to get a good jump on that start there as he's getting a little help from the 72 of Chris Lilly on that high side, working pretty good as Andy Reeves has moved in the first. Chris Lilly battling with Barry Beebe for that second position. Scotty Edwards back there as well trying to move up. That top high position is the way to go as your leader is Andy Reeves. Chris Lilly in second. Here comes Scotty Edwards, the 8 machine in third. You might want to keep your eye on that 8 car of Scotty Edwards. He is no stranger to victory lane here at Southside. Has won himself a few races here and is contended for the championship. He's battling with the 72 right now. That is the Chris Lilly machine. He has moved past Lilly, moved Scotty Edwards into second in the 8 machine. He set the sights on Andy Reeves in that 18 car for the top position. Scotty Edwards gives the 36 a little bit of a, or the 18 a little bit of a bump there. Oh, the 95 car spins out. That is Steve Cipher starting in the 4th or 3rd position, and he's on the low side of turn number 2 as the caution flag will come out for the first time in this race tonight here at Southside. Again, the 8 car of Scotty Edwards, your leader, and the 95 of Steve Cipher bringing out the blackberries, pumpkins, and of course strawberries. They offer a great time for kids and adults at the Chesterfield Berry Farm. For more details from them real soon. All right, got the one to go as the lights are out on the Biley's Automark Pace truck as the 18 of Andy Reeves and the 8 of Scotty Edwards. That's your front row. And we'll see if Andy Reeves can move along and get past. Again, the car that everybody's going to keep that eye on is that 8 car of Scotty Edwards. Again, he is a fast runner when it comes to racing here at Southside as the Pace truck is pulled in the pits. Andy Reeves gets a good little jump right there. Green flag is out. Andy Reeves trying to stay the low side of the track, but Scotty Edwards' car way too strong. Whoa! The 72 of Chris Lilly spins it out right there, heading down the backstretch into turn 3. He's on the low side of the track. We'll see if he can get his car started up again, as it looks like he will get his car started, but the caution flag comes out, and looks like the 18 car of Andy Reeves heads into turn number 1. Caution flag is on the track. The 88 car has got some front-end damage to his machine as well. Caution flag is on the track. A couple of things were going on around the same time period. Chris Lilly and we got the one to go. Andy Reeves will assume back to the top position with the 8 of Scotty Edwards. And Scotty Edwards has the horse to beat tonight, it looks like, as we are 3 laps into this 20-lap main event. Scotty Edwards right there along the high side. Looks like the outside line is the place to go right now, the preferred line for these drivers. Just a couple laps in, but it looks like that line is working well for everybody. Barry Beebe running in 3rd with the 82 machine. Also in there as well. And here we go, green flag is out. Whoa, sparks flying, tire coming right off of that number 88 machine. That is Chris Rayford having some major problems. That front end, that passing that right front end of that machine, again having major problems. And the caution flag comes out once again here at Southside. The second time for Chris Rayford having issues tonight. Earlier this evening, he had a tire right there, same side, coming right off in turn number 4. Again, having no more issues with that 88 car. All right, got the one to go, getting ready for green flag action as Andy Reeves has got his hands full once again with Scotty Edwards along his outside. Here comes Barry Beebe and looks like the 79 of David Turner as the Barley's Automark pace truck is in the pit, and green flag is back in the air. Dylan Saul just moved right out of the way and fell back in line all the way back towards the rear of the field. Meanwhile, Scotty Edwards has just completely cleared. Andy Reeves has moved into the top of the field. Here comes Reeves in second, and then the 79 machine of David Turner back in third. Here's the 95 of Steven Cipher. He's trying to move into the third position on the high side of the track heading into turn 2. David Turner on the low side, Steve Cipher on the high side. Cipher makes a move in the third on the high side of the track heading into turn 4. Give the 95 the third position. 79 falls back to fourth, and Barry Beebe in the 36 is in fifth position. Cars dancing all over the place right now, but one that's keeping it right in line is the 8 of Scotty Edwards. He is your top car right now at Southside. Andy Reeves in second, and the 95 of Steve Cipher in the third position. Back and forth, David Turner. Then the 72 of Chris Lilly, who got sideways a little while ago. He's up to fifth. The 87 back there in sixth. That's Tommy Jackson Jr. as they're coming around this time to complete lap number 7. Battle for the fourth position shaping up. Chris Lilly right there in fourth. The 87 of Tommy Jackson Jr. trying to follow suit. And the 79 of David Turner gets kicked back to about the sixth position as the cars are going by this time. 9 laps are in the books. And Scotty Edwards is the man to beat. He is pulled away by about a half the straightaway over second place Andy Reeves. You knew during qualifying that Scotty Edwards had a strong horse, but man, he is showing it big time tonight here at Southside. As that car is in line, going strong as we are halfway in the books. 10 down, 10 to go. Andy Reeves in second. 95 of Steve Cipher in third. As the lap car, the 5 of Brandon Wigglesworth, getting moved down to the bottom side of the track. Chris Lilly in fourth in the 72 machine. And the 87 of Tommy Jackson Jr. rounding out the top 5. Eight laps left in this race, and battles are starting to shape up all over the racetrack, but there's not one battle going on for the lead because Scotty Edwards has just pulled away almost a full straightaway ahead of second place Andy Reeves, who's got his hands full with the 95 of Steve Cipher, and then about a half a straightaway back in fourth is the 87 of Tommy Jackson Jr. with Chris Lilly. That's your top 5, and those 4 cars are battling for their own positions right now. Meanwhile, Scotty Edwards is just lapping cars left and right. The 5 car Brandon Wigglesworth goes another lap down, and Scotty Edwards still clicking them off here at Southside. They got a car right here on the front stretch stalled out, spin out right here on the front stretch. We'll see if we can get corrected as caution flag comes out with 3 laps left in this race. All right, got the one to go here. Can anybody do anything with Scotty Edwards? He got out in clean air and just took off. Andy Reeves going to take another crack at it here on the high side this time and see if that works. So we'll see if we can get some help from Tommy Jackson Jr., who's going to be right behind him. But Scotty Edwards in that 8 car has been the class of the field so far tonight with 5 laps left in the books. Might be Scotty Edwards' night here as the Barley's Automark pace truck will pull it into the pit. And now here comes the green flag. Leads coming out. Scotty Edwards backed off a little bit to get a good run at the green flag, and it worked perfectly. Scotty Edwards is starting to pull away big time from the rest of the field. as the 95 car, Steve Cypher and Andy Reeves get together coming into turn 4, and Andy Reeves gets the worst of it heading into turn 4. Caution flag is on the track. Eventually, you knew it was going to happen. It's just inevitable. That last few laps, everybody's battling for position, and Andy Reeves gets the worst end of it as he is out of his car and he's surveying the damage. And it's not the way he wanted that 18 car to end up tonight here at Southside. Had a good run going and a tough break for the 18 car. One to go. Scotty Edwards will be your leader when they come around for the green flag. The 87 of Tommy Jackson Jr. moves along the high side. Chris Lilly will back in third with the Barry Beebe machine of fourth and the Dylan Saul machine rounding out the top 5 with 5 laps left in this race. All right, the Byerly's Automark pace truck is in the pit. Scotty Edwards just looking for 5 more laps to get this one wrapped up and put in the books because he's got another one coming up later on this evening. Green flag is out. Scotty Edwards trying to clear the 87 of Tommy Jackson Jr. He finally clears him heading down the backstretch. Here comes Tommy Jackson Jr. going to try to make a bid for the lead this time. No, will stay in line and fall right in the tire tracks of Scotty Edwards as they head into turn number 1. Everybody falling in the line right now. Nobody getting out of line. No battles really taking place right now as we are closing on the final few laps. Looks like everybody's just going to try to hang on for this last few laps and get what they can and get ready for race number 2, which will be happening later on this evening. Meanwhile, Scotty Edwards is the class of the field in this race. 2 more laps to go. However, Tommy Jackson Jr. is hanging with the 8 car of Scotty Edwards. This might pose a threat later on this evening as he's closing in. Spin out in turn number 2 between the 18 car of Dylan Saul and the 79 of David Turner. Caution flag is out, and Scotty Edwards didn't want to see that one. He was looking for the white flag coming around the next time as the Tommy Jackson Jr. machine was really closing in on Scotty Edwards in that last couple of laps there. All right, getting the 1 to go, and a surprise, Tommy Jackson Jr. able to hang with Scotty Edwards right there in the closing laps. That last run, we'll see if something shakes out here in these final 2 laps as Scotty Edwards has been the class of the field. Tommy Jackson Jr., though, might have something for him in these final couple of laps, and if he doesn't do it this time, they've got another 20-lap segment coming up later on this evening, and he can show his muscle. Coming around this time, they will get the green flag, and here we go. Tommy Jackson Jr. wasting no time. He's able to get by, but the caution is I don't think Jimmy Walker liked that start. So we'll probably have to try that one more time. As they come around to get the green flag, Jackson on the high side in second. Chris Lilly back there as well in that 72 car, coming back from a spin out earlier in the race to come up to the 3rd position, hoping to close out tonight with a good, strong finish here and leading into that second 20-lap race coming up later on tonight. And here we go. Green flag is out this time. Drag race heading into turn 1 between Scotty Edwards and Tommy Jackson Jr. And there's still door handle to door handle going down the backstretch, entering turn number 3. Still side by side as they head into turn 4. Scotty Edwards going to hit the low side to make it work for him as the white flag is out. One more lap, and here comes Tommy Jackson one more time. Tommy Jackson does not get by him this time. He'll fall back in line heading into turn 3. One more crack at Scotty Edwards heading into turn 4. Not going to happen. Scotty Edwards takes the checkered flag. Tommy Jackson finishes second with Chris Lilly coming home in the 3rd position. Down here in victory lane with Scotty Edwards. Scotty, come on over here just 1 second. Scotty had the top car tonight. You got another race coming up, and you got a competitor right there with Tommy back there. Take us through those last few laps, especially with those restarts.
I'll tell you, I swear it wasn't a 20-lap race out here tonight. But, yeah, hey, had a mirror full of Tommy, and good run out there for him. He's running very well, and, he'd go back here and adjust one of these cars a little bit, see what we can come up with, and I'm sure he'll be better the next time, too. So it's good seeing him out here. I think this is probably his second year, and he's a good competitor, and really good to see some of these young drivers coming up. It really is.
All right, well, let's see where you're going to start at in the second race coming up. You started in 6th on that first race. We'll see what happens here on race number 2, and he starts in the 5th position. You got your hands full a little bit there. 20-lap segment coming up. You think you got what it takes to get back up in the front?
I think so. We're going to be patient with it and see what the car does, and hopefully we'll have a good a car as for the first race. We had a great car. I mean, we hit it spot on. I mean, I couldn't ask for anything better. We practiced today, really dialed it in, and we got really lucky with our adjustments, and hopefully we can make a little more and come up with something good.
All right, Scotty Edwards, you take this trophy. Let's see if you can pick up win number 2 in just a little bit. Scotty Edwards picks up win number 1 tonight here at Southside Speedway. David Turner and Dylan Saul in row 4. Brandon Wigglesworth and Joe Ramos in row number 5, with Andy Reeves and Chris Rayford in row number 6. Now, keep your eye on Scotty Edwards and Tommy Jackson Jr. Those two cars had a major battle in that first race earlier this evening. Both of them came down the line. It looked like Scotty Edwards was going to walk away from him, but Tommy Jackson was able to hang with him all the way to the end. Keep your eyes on the 8 and the 87. Again, we'll see what those cars do here tonight. The Biley's Automark pace truck pulls them in the pits for the final time here, for the final restart, rolling start here at Southside Speedway, and Barry Beebe leads them down. Barry Beebe lead him down, but Steve Cipher was able to go ahead and go right after that. As Barry Beebe kind of laid off a little bit, Steve Cipher moves into the top position. Tommy Jackson goes right along with him. So Tommy Jackson Jr. running in second. Here comes Scotty Edwards trying to make it past Barry Beebe and making a 3-car battle for the lead here in just a second. Steve Cipher, your leader. Tommy Jackson Jr. in second. Then you got Barry Beebe in third, and Scotty Edwards moving into 4th. Here comes Chris Lilly. That's your top 5. Scotty Edwards on the low side of Barry Beebe. That is a battle for the 3rd spot. It is not a battle anymore. Scotty Edwards has just moved into 3rd. Barry Beebe falls back to 4th. Chris Lilly in 5th, and now Scotty Edwards set the sights on the leaders, who are having their own battle right now. Tommy Jackson Jr. has just gotten by the Steve Cipher machine, and now Scotty Edwards trying to make his way by the Steve Cipher machine. He does so, puts Scotty Edwards in second, and now we got a battle shaping up. Tommy Jackson Jr. leader. Here comes Scotty Edwards in second. Five laps are in the books of this 20-lap main event. Tommy Jackson Jr. and Scotty Edwards, told you before the race, keep your eye on these two. They had a barn burner of a fight towards the end of their first race earlier this evening, and it's starting to shape up like it could be the same thing here as we round out the night of racing action here with this final race tonight. Tommy Jackson Jr. your leader. Then you have Scotty Edwards in second, Steve Cipher in the 95 car in third, Chris Lilly in the 72 in fourth, and then the 88 of Chris Rayford. Chris Rayford looks like he is in the 5th position. And then Barry Beebe in 6th. You got the 18 of Colin Brown in the 18 machine back there underneath Beebe, or back behind Beebe. He's in the 7th position. Scotty Edwards is starting to close the gap as we are 10 laps down, 10 more to go here at Southside. Tommy Jackson Jr. is starting to see a rear view full of the 8 of Scotty Edwards. And you want to see this coming down. He has closed the gap. He is almost in the back seat of Tommy Jackson Jr. coming down the front stretch. It's a nose-to-tail battle going into turn number 1. Tommy Jackson Jr., Scotty Edwards, that's your top 2 as they head down the backstretch. Lap traffic could play a big role in how this whole race ends up tonight as their leaders are starting to catch up with the slower traffic. Tommy Jackson holding that top position. The 5 car in front of him, that's Brandon Wigglesworth. Looks like he's going to split him. Scotty Edwards tried to split him, and Scotty Edwards gets the bad end of that deal. Scotty Edwards tried to hit the low side of the track to pass the 5 car, and he ends up getting it the wrong way. Caution flag is out, and that's a tough one to swallow for Scotty Edwards. Trying to split and try to catch the lead at the same time, but didn't work out in his favor. He is going to be able to get back on the track. All right, got the 1 to go, and Tommy Jackson Jr. in that 87 car, he is your leader with Barry Beebe alongside of him. Steve Cipher running in second, and it looks like the 18B, that's the Andy Reeves machine, he will pull alongside of him. Chris Lilly and the 79 of David Turner. And Scotty Edwards has moved up to, it looks like, the 8th position, but he's got a lot of work to do here with only 9 laps left to get back up to the leaders. As it looks like, here comes the green flag is out. Scotty Edwards waits in no time. He's trying to get past the 79 car of David Turner to try to make a race out of this and catch up with the leaders. Meanwhile, Tommy Jackson Jr., he's not wasting any time. He has pulled out to a lead of about 4 car lengths over second place, the 95 of Steve Cipher. Scotty Edwards starting to move through. He's starting to get past some drivers here. The 79 car is his next stop. That's David Turner. He's trying to get past him. He's still locked in behind that 79 car. Meanwhile, up to the front, Tommy Jackson has made it about a 5-6 car length lead over second place Steve Cipher. Chris Lilly back in third. Then it is the Chris Rayford car, who's had all kinds of problems earlier this evening. He finds himself in the 4th position, so way to go with Chris. And then back in 5th, it is the 18 of Andy Reeves. That's not Jimmy Walker waving at somebody. That's him giving 5 fingers to Tommy Jackson. He gives him 5 more laps to go. Scotty Edwards gets by Mike Reeves. He moves him in the 4th position, but that's all for naught as the caution flag is on the track. And we've only got 6 laps left in this race. All right, got the 1 to go. Tommy Jackson will take the low side. Anybody going on the high side? Everybody's kind of running low. Chris Lilly looks like the first one to gun that one. He will take the high side. Andy Reeves will go with him. We'll go down the low side of the track. We'll follow Steve Cipher. And looks like Scotty Edwards will go to the low side as well. Here comes David Turner and the rest of the field. 6 laps left in this race. Tommy Jackson Jr. will be the leader when they come down for the green flag with Chris Lilly in second. And then Steve Cipher in third. And then the 88 of Chris Rayford in fourth. Again, big ups to Chris Rayford. Had himself a major bad night earlier tonight, but he's able to move that car in the 4th position as the green flag is out. And he's moved past Chris Lilly. Chris Rayford has moved into 2nd position. The 88 car is in 2nd. He's got his sights set on the leader, Tommy Jackson, as they head into turn 4. Tell you what, folks, even if he finishes 2nd, Chris Rayford has had himself a wild night, up and down, all the way around. Would love to finish on a high note tonight. 2nd place. Whoa, got to spin out in turn 2. He's on the low side of the track. It looks like the Colin Brown machine again, bringing out another caution with 4 laps left in the race. got the one to go, and Tommy Jackson Jr. looking to take home the checkered flag tonight. That would actually be 4 different winners straight here tonight at the track. Really cool stats if this would have happened. Again, Tommy Jackson Jr. your leader with Chris Lilly in second. Then you got Chris Rayford in third. Andy Reeves moves to fourth. Again, a big ups to Chris Rayford. He has had himself one heck of a day here, crashing out twice, once during qualifying, and now he finds himself sitting third. Big time for Chris Rayford. Green flag is out. Chris Rayford right there on the back bumper of Tommy Jackson Jr. would love to take home the checkers tonight. With 5 laps left in this race, Tommy Jackson Jr. trying to hold on for the win. Tommy Jackson Jr. leader, Chris Rayford in second, Chris Lilly in third, back there in fourth. It's a 3-car battle between Steve Cipher, also Scotty Edwards, who moves to fifth and then pushes back Andy Reeves, who goes back to sixth. Tommy Jackson is leading, but he has got his hands full right now with Chris Rayford. He is all over the back bumper of that 87 machine. Could be an interesting finish here with 2 laps to go. Chris Rayford heads down the backstretch, loses a little bit of ground going into turn 2, but gains it back up heading into turn 3 as they come down this time for the white flag. 1 more lap to go for Tommy Jackson Jr. He has shown the muscle tonight here at Southside Speedway. As they head down the backstretch, here comes Chris Rayford one more time. Can he pull it off? Not tonight. Tommy Jackson Jr. takes the checkered flag. Chris Rayford finishes second with Chris Lilly rounding out the top 3.
Good. Well, I didn't want to tighten you up. I wasn't tightening you up. I was letting you go.
All right, Tommy Jackson Jr. down here in Victory Lane. Let's talk to him. The helmet falls down. Go pick it up. It's okay. We'll take the money and buy another one. Tommy, first off, congratulations. The 87 here in Victory Lane. Now, the first race with you and Scotty, you showed some muscle. This race looks like you brought the whole thing home with a lot of muscle tonight.
Yeah, I mean, we were just able to get out front early, and that really gave us the advantage. The car was really good on the long run and a lot less cautions this race, and we didn't get sent to the back too much. So, I mean, we were able to get out early, and with a good enough car, it was a little free all race long. But, you know, thanks to the guys, I couldn't thank them enough. They really had the car on spot for today. So our first time here, really, we were hoping to pick up the win in the first one, but just couldn't come out with it. But this one's to them, and you know, it was a great night.
Did those caution flags towards the end of that hurt you at all? Were you concerned about Rayford back there and any of those other cars? I mean, it looked like the restarts were pretty good, but were you concerned about those other cars back there closing in on the final laps?
Rayford's a great driver. When he's behind me, I'm always worried about him. But you know, we had a good car, and you know, the runs were long enough for the car to really get into the groove, and I felt really good tonight. And you know, we got really lucky, and you know, I can't ask for any more.
Well, next week you'll be back out here and try to pick up another trophy, but tonight, Tommy Jackson Jr. takes home the checkers, picks up a trophy. The big winner tonight here at Southside Speedway.